Today we're going to work on my 81 CJ7. We're going to see if we can't figure out the chirp when I push in on the clutch all the way to the bottom, and we're going to try and figure out why it's running super rich. So let's get started. So here I'm trying to start it to hear the chirp. So and I'm trying to let you hear it, which is like a metal going and just clicking a little bit. So after I've heard it, then I'm going to skateboard over and I'm going to figure out a way to get under the Jeep on my fancy skateboard so that I might be able to identify what's going on with this chirp and sort it out. And maybe I need to go on a diet. I'm not 100% sure. But after that, we're looking at our mechanical clutch leakage, which unlike hydraulic has a fixed rod length. Here we're looking at, as well as we can inside of the transmission bell housing, figure out if there's any wear or something we can see. Of course, we can see nothing. Handsome guy. Followed by us deciding to make the linkage shorter, or I guess the push rod shorter on the clutch so that it will hopefully not go all the way down to the floor this time, and then make it to where we can actually make this stupid chirp go away. So right now, since one side's left hand, one side's right hand, I'm just working on the back end, and then I'm going to tighten it up, make it a shorter length overall, which will move my release point between the applying power from the engine and not upwards a little bit, but right now it's pretty close to the floor. So now we're going to test it out. Let's see if that adjustment helped. Where's my spot? I wonder how far I moved it. Ooh, it's way at the top. That's all right. So we definitely moved it. So it's not, I have it to the floor right now. Not doing it. Let it out. Now it's doing it way in there. That's much, I hate pulling my brake pedal off. Ouch. It is 100% better though. In fact, I can make it go away. I don't know, I think that fixed it. I mean, if I'm not gonna push it to the floor now, I'm not pushing it to the floor now, so why on earth would I worry about it more? It doesn't chirp now. I think we'll just call that solved. Of course, I think that was our easier fix of the day. One thing while we're doing this, I am going to change the oil, so let me get that going. I know this doesn't look that crazy great, and I don't want it to look perfect because I want to beat the hell out of this thing, and I do beat the hell out of this thing. I drive the wheels off of it. But in fact, most of the time, this is my daily. I have the doors off of it right now, but I do have a bikini top for it, but I just didn't put it on this year. It doesn't look like much, but there is a butt ton of money in here. I will tell you, if you want a CJ, be prepared to spend money on it, and it's not done when you're done. You're never done. And I don't mean that in the project sense. I mean that in the, it is always breaking. There's always something going wrong. Alternators, all this stuff. Speaking of alternators, that brings me to my next problem. The alternator's not putting out enough juice. Now it is. My belt's loose. I need to tighten my belt. Once I rev it, I get my 14 volts or whatever it's supposed to be. But until I rev it, it doesn't work. Basically, that means it's not energizing because it's probably not spinning fast enough until it spins, and then once it energizes, it's fine. Which, by the way, we have good oil pressure. If you're new to the Jeep world, especially CJ7s, I have an AMC 258, which is a 4.2 liter
inline six. It's actually a pretty good engine. You know, 79 through like 85, the last few years of the CJ, AMC was struggling financially and they cut a lot of corners. But I have found, particularly in their wiring, I've added a bunch of redundant grounds. I've done the Team Rush upgrade on the ignition system with doing Ford stuff. I've put a much better coil. I've put, this is the Howell fuel injection throttle body, which runs off the GM. Basically the 80, I think it was 87 through 95 TPI fuel injection is what that is. I've added power steering, and the power steering, all the components came from a J20. I'm not sure what else. Oh, I've upgraded the alternator. The original is like a 68 whatever watt, and this is an 80 something. But I just need to tighten the belt. One thing I really want to do for this in the future is absolutely completely replace the wiring and put a whole new harness in, because the wiring in these suck. Oh. I figured since I was coming under here to get these tools, I'd go ahead and pull the plug and let this start draining. Since we're doing an oil change too, you're probably gonna shoot 100 miles would be my guess. But no, I had this motor completely rebuilt, the head redone by a shop. It's been a good Jeep since then. Get ready to run. Plastic. Oh, I missed. That was close. Yeah, it's not as dirty as I thought it'd be. I drive very little in the week to week, day to day. I work remote for my normal job. This gets like a couple miles here, a couple miles there when I'm puttering around town. But so I change it seasonally rather than mileage. Now we can tighten our belt. I do have to clean the concrete since it also doubles as a basketball court. Most of the time it's a basketball court that doubles as a place to change oil, and most people don't recommend changing oil on their basketball courts. I'm gonna start with this bar, but I may go to a little bit longer one. This is a 1/2 inch on here. Get it loosey loose, and then ready to tighten. Remember the tighten. Oh, there we go. Good and snug a nug. Okay. I'm gonna set you right there. Oh shit. What am I doing? I don't have any oil in the engine. Stupid. Cover me. I'm going in. Apparently I need a wrench. So to get my oil filter off, apparently I need a wrench, but luckily I can reach it from the top. That's a little bit easier. God, I'm making all the mistakes today. Helps if you go righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Am I hitting? Almost. And I spilt it. I spilt it all. Yay. Woo. Good thing I wiped that mess up. It just goes right there. Okay, put a little oil on the seal and screwing it on. I just go hand tight. I don't like to go super tight. Well, let's put some oil in this booger. Yeah, made a mess. Should probably use a funnel. In this, I use full synthetic 5W20. I don't know why. Feels like I'm doing better. I thought about doing 0-20, especially if it gets super cold. We had some -20 and 30 with wind chills last winter. If it does that, I may wish I had 0 instead of 5, but I don't know. We'll see. Long. Today's first day of college football. I wonder how everybody's doing. I don't really watch as near as much football as I used to. When I was in college, our team, I went to K-State. We were national contender a lot, and we're still good. We're just, I don't know. When I was a student, I cared. Now it's just expensive, if that makes sense. I don't really have any oil leaks, but it sure looks like there's an oil film everywhere. Wonder why. Maybe through the breather? I don't know. When we're done here and we start it and see if our alternator made a improvement, and then maybe we tighten it some more, so we'll get all that done. And then the last thing I'm going to try and do is figure out why it's burning so rich. And I think my oxygen sensor isn't working anymore. When you buy the kit, it comes with an oxygen sensor. That's been a minute. I made one. Woohoo! So far I'm 1 for 4. It's like I'm taking a test. Let that finish draining. Well, I just fired it up and our first attempt does not appear to have worked. Let's try it again. So do I use this one or do I go straight to the long one? Maybe we just go straight to the long one. That's as tight as I comfortably will make it. Whew! Snug-a-dug. Let's see if that does it. If not, maybe it just has to spin faster to work. I don't know. Might have to Google that. And oh crap. Maybe I need a bigger pulley? Wait. Bigger pulley would spin faster at a lower speed, right? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into that. That may not get fixed today, but we'll check on it. As you can see, we've been running rich in our tailpipe. It's probably hot. Well, yeah, it's running rich. I think the oxygen sensor's fouled up and my plugs are fouled up. So when you buy this kit, they send you an oxygen sensor, and it's just a GM factory one. I bought a Bosch 12014. Not that that'll help you unless you actually have it, but I think it should have a wire. Yep. Okay, and there is a nut on the bottom, and I need to change that out and run that in. What size are you? Looks like it's a 7/8. In mine, I just welded it. There we go. In my downpipe, I welded mine in right there. And so let me pull this dude off. Same plug. There. Almost. Come on. Yay. Woo. That don't look good. I don't know what bad looks like, but that definitely don't look good. This would essentially be a before and after. So let's put the new one in. Alright. And hit them with the wrench clamps. Everything's in the way. Alright. Call that good. Bring you up and plug you in. Make you happy once again. I'm guessing our plugs are going to be fouled like crazy. By the way, that's hot. There we go. Job done. Now the nice thing about a straight 6, and particularly this one, is they're easy to get to, all 6 of them. So I'm going to pull them one at a time and double check their gap. I sprayed some brake clean just to kind of get the residue off. Not really trying to make it clean, but more to save me from getting greasier than I need to. I think where most of your oil leaks come on this guy is either the real main seal, which I think is a rope. I don't know. I paid somebody to not mess with that guy. And I got it back as a long block and then had to put the head on inside once, because that head's heavy. Whew. That baby is super heavy. It is what it is. I'm sure you could buy an aluminum one, but that sounds expensive. And at the end of the day, I'm not trying to win a race. I'm just trying to get from point A to point B. That's a K&N filter I put on just because you had to add something and seemed better than nothing. Oh, shiny. That'd be 1-to-1. Would that spin it? Would a smaller one, maybe a smaller pulley spins faster? I don't know. I'm not good at that stuff. I have to just do it and see what the result is, test it out before I can really figure it out. I can't pick, I'm not able to picture anything in my head, so that makes things fun. Okay. Got my first spark plug here. You see what it's at. Looks like 45. Let's see what number 1's at. Oh, I'm glad I bought that thing. Well, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. They're at 40. I think I'm going to go with the 45. Factory was 35, and I know it was supposed to be more. Let's try a little bit bigger gap, because it's a way hotter spark than what would have been on a factory. I mean a lot. After you do that team rush. 1. Huh. Air compressor just kicked on. If you haven't seen my short, you should check it out. Still not super bad. Yep, right at 45. 1/4 turn. There it is. If you've ever changed spark plugs on like a 2000s Ford, you will understand the sheer pain that is trying to reach all of them. Oh my gosh. It might be the worst experience doing stuff like this I've ever had. You can't even get to the back ones. I have done them on a Lumina, a 90 something. Can't remember what that was. 93 maybe. And you were supposed to take the engine motor mount loose and jack up the rear of the engine to do the rear. I just laid on it, made it work. 1/4 turn. There it went. Dropped it. They're not all near as fouled as I expected. They're burning fairly decent. So that's, maybe it wasn't such a problem as long as I thought it was. Either way, hopefully this straightens it all out. Checking the gap and making sure it's right. Cause I watched Puddin' mess his life up right when he had a station wagon and he put a spark plug in. That was smashed. Smashed real good. Boom, boom, boom. 1/4. 2 more. They got cleaner as they went back. These 2 were the worst. I don't know what that means, but at the end of the day, I just want it to run better and clean and happy. No matter what I do, it ain't going to be fast. It isn't going to be powerful, but I do want it to work and work well. I mean, not terrible. Dropped a new one. Balls. Got it oily to boot. Now we definitely gotta check our gap again. Ooh, I did smash it a little. There we go. And our final one. There we go. All right. The last thing we need to do is figure out where my gas is leaking from, because it smells like gas over here on the passenger side somewhere. So I have a feeling there's a junction where the electric fuel pump is, so I'm gonna look there. Oh, well, that was easier than I thought. We're soaked up here where we junction into this tube. Damn, it's spraying hard enough it's made all that fall off. Yay. Let me put you down. All right, I've got you set up. I'm gonna go turn on the Jeep and see if I can look at the footage and determine where it's all coming from. Up here, right there, whatever is right here. Yep, that's where it's at. Apparently, if you ever want to take your Jeep undercoating spray from whatever that undercoat in the can was, that was there, you just soak it in gasoline and it'll fall right out. Anyway, we're leaking right there. I'm gonna take all this apart and see if it's the line or the hose or maybe both. This is tight. This is tight. Man, what a mess. Get that out of the way. Yeah, when you buy that kit, it comes with an add-on fuel filter. Hope I don't spill any gas. That'd be terrible. Move my face. Oh, I don't mind the smell of gas, but I hate it when it's on my hands. How am I gonna pick my nose if I smell like gas? Oh. Wonder if that's doing it. Come on. There we go. Let's go see if we can't cut us a better piece of hose to put on there. So I cut a new piece of hose, and I cut it a little bit longer just to hopefully be able to really get past that joint. And then put that guy on there. I'd use my tools, my power tools, except I can't remember if mine are brushed or not, and I don't want to spark around the fuel. All right, there's that one. Oh, I gotta make it bigger. That's what she said. Oh, this is a shorter video than I normally make. Mainly because August is absolutely devastating for my free time because of my job. It's my busiest month by a staggering amount. Okay, let me grab some scissors. Put in or get anything done in the garage when you end up working over 100 hours in a given week, and you do it basically from, there we go, from about July 1 till August, oh, I don't know, shoot, I just stabbed myself with a Mortske screwdriver. I got the Mortske, not the flick, the Mortske poke. But anyway, it takes me until the last Friday in August to get everything done, and I do a very boring day job that's nothing but data and analysis, and I have to do this massive report once a year, and I usually start on it in April. I go hard and heavy. Again, I'm just channeling. I go hard and heavy all through July and August, and then once it's done, then my life gets a little slower again. But before I zip tie that back, I think I'm going to turn it on and see if it's leaking after I move my rag, because gas will evaporate, but a flammable rag will burn. Hooray! Fixed it. Now, I'll show you what that hose did here in a minute when we're not under the truck. I saved it. Oh, I think I'll just snake this through here. I don't want my wire to hang down low, quite honestly. And I don't go four-wheeling, but I do run through pastures and stuff and go hunting, and I would prefer not to rip off my fuel pump wiring out in the middle of nowhere. So we had this right here broke and blew out. I don't know why. And then that caused our leak right there. That's all it was. Let's take her for a rip. Let's take her for a rip and see how well she runs. Still have to accelerate that, but I'm not chirping. My pedals on, or brakes on. Oh, I hate that thing. I kind of like it being a little bit higher, actually. Well, let's see how well it runs now with everything changed. Spark plugs and that new oxygen sensor especially. Whew, that's better. All right. We'll get out of town here. Maybe in a minute. Oh! Forgot my sunglasses on the hood. Whoopsies. Whoopsies. Gonna have to go get them because they fell in the road. Ruh-roh. Hopefully they don't get run over by that car. These are like 2 prescriptions ago, but they still work good enough that I can wear them when I'm doing dumb shit, when I'm doing dumb stuff. So I like that. I wish I wouldn't have thrown them off the hood. Oh well, it happens. It runs so much better. Got good oil pressure. Doesn't smell like exhaust. Oh, it's Labor Day. Everybody's at the damn lake. I live by 2 lakes. So, I like it. I don't mind having all those people, but there's a lot of traffic when you're trying to do dumb stuff in a Jeep. Hey, we hit the speed limit! Oh, that's so much better. Runs better, sounds better, smells better. I apologize for it not being a bunch of video, but I will tell you then this is going to make a huge improvement. And sometimes it's just like that for the week. I got well, obviously we just fixed the fuel line. We changed the oil. It's running much better with the new spark plugs and the new oxygen sensor. Unfortunately, we didn't get the alternator to charge instantly. I think I'm going to have to change a pulley to make that work. It just must need to go a little faster than what it's doing, because that's the problem, is it's not spinning fast enough to get it energized. Once it's energized, then it goes. And then moving the clutch out got rid of that annoying chirping sound. It's still there if I go all the way to the floor, but I really think it is. So like, as my throwout bearing moves, I think it's rubbing. And when it's all the way, like if I make it go all the way out, and now it's a good spot. It's sort of towards the middle of, it was before where it'd start moving when you let out the clutch. It was towards the bottom, and this moved it up a little bit. I don't want it too high. I don't want to be up here trying to do it, but something I can control pretty easy, and it's very comfortable. And as long as I don't go clear of the floor, it doesn't chirp anymore. So I'm really liking that. I'm not sure what the next video will be, but it'll come out. And until then, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe and like. You could check us out on Instagram. It's all UpwardPenny, one word, and I show it in the banner down there. I try to post on there. I'm not great. It's not daily or nothing, but I do post updates from time to time and stuff. My last 2 months have been absolutely at a desk the entire day, so I haven't done much anywhere. And so till next time, remember, the only time you can't do something is when you won't. Take it easy.